Hi everybody and welcome to my latest video. It's Beatle Dave, the record collector. I hope you're all well and dandy out there in Beatles world, record collecting world, YouTube, VC and people on the internet. You know, everybody's welcome in my little channel. So I hope you're sitting comfortably. We're going to be looking at some records that I got on Thursday. For my trip to Nottingham. You'll have to excuse me, I feel a bit like I'm struggling for breath today. I don't know why, because I haven't done anything. Yeah, so we went to Nottingham on Thursday. Part like a little bit of a birthday treat for me. We did go in a few record shops, but we only bought records from two shops. One was Rob's Records in Hertfordshire in Nottingham, and the other was Rough Trade Records, which are in Hockley. So I'm going to show you the ones we've got from Bob's Records. All these records are second hand. The ones that we've got from Rough Trade are all brand new, or reissues, or whatever you want to call them. There's some Beatles and Beatles related in this lot, and then there's some other stuff that I've just bought to sort of like try and broaden my musical horizons a little bit. There's also a couple of albums in here that, you know, I've been after for quite a while, but every time I've seen them like on eBay, Discogs, or at record fairs, or even, you know, going to other like little second-hand record shops, they've always been a little bit too expensive. But because I bought quite a few, Rob did me a deal. Stay tuned, because I'm going to show you something at the end as well, which, although I bought it at Rob's with this lot, I think is worthy of having a video all to itself. So if you're sitting comfortably, we'll begin, because it's nearly 2 minutes. I haven't showed you anything yet. I'll try and make this as quick as I can. Famous last words from Beatle Dave, isn't it? Right. So the first one is a copy of the Beatles Magical Mystery Tour. Now I can hear you all saying, Dave, why the hell have you bought that? You must have umpteen copies. Yes, I have. There's two reasons why I bought it. One is I didn't pay much for it. Second is it's an original USA copy on the Capital Rainbow label. And the third reason is, I don't know if you can see it, it's got a imported by EMI sticker on it there, which I've thought was quite strange. Yeah, it says specially imported by EMI Records Limited, the Gramophone Co Limited. You can see that, can't you? A bit hard because it's shiny. So this was imported, although a bit strange, isn't it? Recorded in England, wasn't it, Magical Mystery Tour, but this has been imported into the UK from America by EMI Records, who at the time refused to release this as an album in 1967, although they did do the double EP. Where in America and other parts of the world you had this as a bona fide Beatles album, didn't you, from 1967. It has got the booklet with it, which is, although it is intact, that's still in there, the pages are starting to come out of it. But then again, I mean, this is nearly as old as me, this. It did need a good clean, and I've put it in a new anti-static sleeve. Because if you ever clean in your records, you know, it is better if you've got new sleeves to put them into the new sleeves. But in all fairness, this has come up really nice. So that is side one, and then that is side two. Great sounding record. I did spend most of, well, a bit of Friday and most of yesterday cleaning a lot of records. It did take me a while, but I didn't rush them. So it has split there at the bottom, but I think that's the construction of these American covers, isn't it? Great sounding record. I've played this and it does sound good, and it is a mono version, not the stereo. And like I say, it is the original 1967 American copy, which is on the Rainbow Capital label and not on the later Apple version of it. But yeah, I've always thought that's a cracking album, and I think EMI and Parlophone in the UK missed a trick by not releasing this at the time. It should have been released. Although the double EP is fine, don't get me wrong, I've got no problem with the double EP, but you know, for saying in the UK officially we had to wait till 1976 to get this as an official album. you know, 9 years after it had come out. But yeah, I think that is one where EMI in the UK could have actually learned from America on that one. Great album. John Lennon always said that was one of his favourite Beatles albums, didn't he? Next we've got a little bit of Slade. Oh, that Magical Mystery Tour, I paid £10 for that, which isn't bad, is it? You know, for a original American pressing from '67. This is Old New Borrowed and Blue by Slade. Love Slade. That is the track listing on the back if you want to freeze it and have a look. The only thing is, when you go to Rob's, sometimes he'll put them in like plastic sleeves, the records, and other times it just like goes mad with the stickers. This is a gatefold sleeve, and you have to get it out like you do on Beatles for Sale, so it comes out of the inside. Polydor. This is actually really, well, looks really nice condition. Nice shiny label, nice shiny record, nice shiny label, nice shiny record. This has got two of my all-time favourite Slade songs on it. It's got every day when I'm away, I'm thinking of you. And it's got My Friend Stan. My friend Stan is a funny old man. Oh yeah. In fact, the track list, now go through it, is Just Want a Little Bit, When the Lights Are Out, My Town, Find Yourself a Rainbow, Miles Out to Sea, You're Really Gonna Raise the Roof, but We're Really Gonna Raise the Roof. Side 2 is Do We Still Do It, How Can It Be, Don't Blame Me, My Friend Stan, Every Day, and Good Time Goes. Played this yesterday, and I actually cranked up the volume a bit on it, and it actually sounded fantastic. And I said to Rob, I said, well, why is it so cheap? And he goes, Dave, he says, if you look very carefully, he says, if I didn't tell you, you'd never notice. He says, but just on the edge of the record, it's like got a chip in it. Can you see it just there? You see it? Right. But it is on the outer edge. It's not actually on the record surface. So as long as you like careful putting your stylus on, that won't affect it. I played this and actually sounded virtually like a brand new record. Yes, there's a little bit of background sort of like noise here and there, but nothing overwhelming, which you do it, you know, you expect a little bit, don't you, with a vintage record. I mean, when did this come out? 1973, I think this came out. 1974. That's close, 1973, 74. Yeah, sort of like Slade at the peak. Fantastic band Slade were in their own rights. They had a hell of a lot of number ones in the UK in the early 70s. Then they went to America. They did a massive tour of America, and then when they came back, punk rock had like took over the UK, and they were still having like minor hits, but not like really big hits. And then in the early 80s, they started to get famous again. You can still go and like see a version of Slade, but it hasn't got Jim Lee or Noddy Holder in it. We were mainly the main songwriters, weren't they? Great band. If you've never heard of Slade or you've never had any of their records, you know, just check one out. You can usually pick these up pretty cheap, to be honest. Like I say, £2 I got this for. Usually they'd go about between £10 and £15, I think that would. So that's that one. Then we've got this one. This is another one that I've had my eye on this for a while. It's Lost and Found, and it's like secret, like, well, not secret, it's Decca Records. It's like people that recorded singles for Decca, or like subsidies of Decca at like the start of the career. So you've got Mark Bolan on here, you've got Davy Jones on here, i.e. David Bowie. You've got Denny Lane on here, who, and you know, before he went into Wings. Susan Hampshire. You got Kenny Everett, Rod Stewart. You know, there's some quite famous people on here. A lot of these, when they were released as singles, didn't really go anywhere in the charts, hence why it's called Lost and Found. Now this usually goes on certain selling sites about the £30 mark. It is a double LP. The track listing is side 1, Denny Lane, Out of Wings and the Moody Blues, Say You Don't Mind and Ask the People. Then you've got Elkie Brooks, Something's Got a Hold on Me and Hello Stranger, Mark Bolan, Beyond the Rising Sun and The Wizard. Side 2 is Kindness, I've never heard of Kindness, Let the Good Times Roll and then Make It Better. Then you've got Susan Hampshire, who was actually, I think she was like quite a famous actress, wasn't she, Susan Hampshire, in the UK. When Love Is True and When the World Was Our Own. Then you got Rod Stewart, very, very early recordings from Rod Stewart. This is Good Morning Little Schoolgirl and I'm Gonna Move to the Outskirts of Town. Side 3, you've got David Essex, So Called Lovin' and then Never Mind It's Only Love. Genesis, and this is when Peter Gabriel was still with them, The Silent Sun and In the Wilderness. Davy Jones, i.e. David Bowie. Louie Louie Go Home and Liza Jane. Little Liza Jane, little Liza Jane. Side 4 is Al Stewart, The Elf and Turn Into Earth. Joe Cocker, brilliant vocalist Joe Cocker was, doing a Beatles song, I'll Cry Instead and Those Precious Words. It's actually a good version of that as well. And then you've got Kenny Everett, who's like a sort of like radio DJ, and then he went onto TV, and his TV shows were like watched by millions in the 70s and the 80s. Nice Time, and then the last song it is And Now for a Little Train Number. So you do get, if it is a gatefold sleeve by the way. So a lot of these records, if you ever found them on single, would cost you a hell of a lot of money. It is on Decca and it's DPA 3083/4. I'll just show you one of the labels because the labels are identical on both of them, but exactly the same, just got different songs on them. And in all fairness, this didn't really need a clean, but it is okay. That's side 1. And that is side 2. Like I say, if you was trying to find any of these singles, if you could ever find them, I mean the David James one goes for hundreds. So it is a cheaper way of listening to these records. When this came out, obviously there's no internet or anything, but it is still quite hard to get this, and when they do come along, they're usually like the £30–35 mark. I paid £12 for that, which I didn't think was that bad. Yeah, not all the songs on there will be to everybody's sort of cup of tea. Excuse me while I just have a drink of squash. Anyway, how are you all doing out there? Hope you're all well and dandy. David Bowie. I actually thought this was an alternate cover for the actual album of Absolute Beginners, but it's actually a 12-inch single. So you've got the A-side is Absolute Beginners full length version, or extended version, or whatever you want to call it, and then the B-side is Absolute Beginners, and that is a dub mix. Gatefold sleeve. So obviously you play this at 45 RPM. It's on Virgin Records and it's VSG 838/12. David Bowie's title track from the original motion picture. If you want to see the label, I will show it you. Again, I've put most of these in new anti-static sleeves, which you should do really if you're going to the bother of cleaning them, which can be, you know, take you ages sometimes. You might as well, if you've got any new sleeves, put them in new sleeves as well, because you never know what crap's in the sleeves, do you? But in all honesty, that one didn't really need a clean anyway. But So there's that one, which was £4. Again, on certain internet sites and selling sites, this goes anywhere from like £3 up to about 25 quid for that. Then I've got this one, John Lennon Rock and Roll. Again, got loads of copies of this. Why did I get it? I got it because it was cheap, and in the end I think Rob actually gave me this for nothing. John's sort of like last proper LP for Apple, wasn't it? Although there's no original songs on it, they're all cover versions, hence why it's called Rock and Roll. Reliving the songs from his youth. I have actually always liked this song, this record, and I think it is very, very overlooked, and you know, a lot of people slag it off saying, oh well, they couldn't be asked to do an album of new material. This was originally going to be put out before Walls and Bridges, wasn't it? Because he had some sort of lawsuit, didn't he, over the opening lines have come together, and instead of being took to court, he told the publisher, oh, well, I'll do an album of oldies and I'll do 3 of your songs or something. So the story goes. How true that is, I don't know. I actually think on this, John Lennon, I know the recording sessions went on for ages and ages and ages, didn't they? And at the time, you know, he wasn't in a very good frame of mind. Johnny was like drinking heavily, and he'd split from Yoko, and he was with May Pang, and you know, he was going out with Harry Nelson and Ringo and getting into trouble and getting into fights and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, one day, just like sobered up, didn't he, and did the most of this on his own, or just a small amount of people. Phil Spector produced some of it, but then a lot of it is just produced by John Lennon. His voice is very, very good on this. Stand By Me, I think, is probably better than the Benny King version, just in my humble opinion. Great album. You can usually pick these up from anywhere from like £5 up to £10, maybe £15. This actually isn't that bad a nick. It's just got a little bit of a rip start in there, but like I say, technically I got that for nothing. So would you say you didn't want it from so you can have it for nothing anyway. Then I got this double LP by The Who, simply called The Who Collection. Although it's on Polydor labels, it was actually released with the assistance of Starless Music, which was like a budget sort of like label, and they did like a lot of sort of like mixed LPs, like things like that, as in where all the songs are like edited together. And Impression Records. Basically, it is the Who's greatest hits up to this point in time. I do that and I go up slowly. You'll be able to see all of the songs. All the songs that you expect to be on here are on here. Like I Can't Explain, My Generation, Substitute, The Kids Are Alright, Happy Jack, Pictures of Lily, I Can See for Miles, Won't Get Fooled Again, Joined Together, Squeeze Box, Who Are You, 5:15, You Bet, sorry, Magic Bus. Then you've got a live version of Summertime Blues, and then you've got a live version of Shaking All Over, Pinball Wizard, Acid Queen, and Free, We're Not Gonna Take It, Behind Blue Eyes. That's not all the songs, I'm just saying, you know, whatever you'd expect to be on here is actually on here. Gatefold sleeve again. Lovely, lovely shiny vinyl, and lovely, lovely labels. I have played this and it absolutely sounded amazing. I think this was digitally remastered, wasn't it, when it came out? Yeah, double album digitally remastered. But again, if you just sort of like getting into the Who, I mean, I'm not just getting into the Who, I've got a lot of Who albums, but like I said before, my album collection sort of like stops at about 1970. But if you think to get the majority of these singles, if you could get them, would cost you quite a lot of money, wouldn't it? So it is a cheap way to get into the Who for the greatest hits sort of thing. But having said that, these are becoming quite scarce now to get. Used to be as common as anything, but you know, it must be 20 odd years ago, maybe even more, that this came out. Like I say, it sounds really, really nice. I've played it all the way through. No skips, no jumps, no background music on this whatsoever. It is in really, really nice condition, to be honest. And I paid £12 for that. £12 for a double Who album. Then there's this one, the Who Odds and Sods. And it's what it says, it's odds and sods, so it's like alternate takes, demos and things like that, songs that were left unreleased up until the time of this coming out. Most of the songs on here I've never heard of, to be honest. I did see, I think it was Nick's Vinyl Butty got a copy of this, and I see what you meant, because when you open this up, when you look at that, you think, oh, it's all ripped. And it does look ripped. It does actually look like it's all ripped, look. You can see my finger there and there, look. But that is how it's supposed to be. And then when you're supposed to like pull that out, won't you, like that or something. So yeah, like this is on Track Records. So you know, this is, I think this is from 1974 off the top of my head. So that is side one. Nice shiny record. Side two. I'm trying to do it so you don't get the glare. I haven't played this one yet, so I can't really tell you what it's like. From what people have said, it's, you know, it's supposed to be quite a good album. And I paid £10 for that. Because the one that's on here that's like is really weird to get is I'm the Face, because that was done when the Who weren't even the Who. That was when the Who went by the name of the High Numbers once, I think. So you know, there's some various sort of like stuff on here. Looking forward to playing that one actually. Then I got this one, Buddy Holly on Coral, and it's simply called Buddy Holly. And look, no glasses. Fantastic songs on here. You've got I'm Gonna Love You Too, Peggy Sue, If You Knew Peggy Sue, Look at Me, Listen to Me, Valley of Tears, Ready Teddy. Side 2 is Every Day, Mailman Bring Me No More Blues. How many of you know that one? John Lennon did a version of that, didn't he, during the Get Back sessions. And then that is followed by another song that the Beatles did called Words of Love. Words of love you, whisper soft and true. You're So Square, Baby I Don't Care, Rave On and Little Baby. And I think this came out just before he sadly passed away. I think it came out in late 1958 or early 1958 I think this came out. And it is just Buddy Holly. It's not Buddy Holly in the Crickets. He had just left the Crickets when he did this. On the Coral label. I always think that label looks ever so nice. It's actually in quite a good condition, this. Don't think it's worth a hell of a lot of money like that, but Buddy Holly is one of those people where I often think what he could have gone on to if he hadn't been taken away at such a young age. Because I think he was only 21 when he died, wasn't he? You know, it's like, and he'd had such success in like 18 months, and then like that, he was gone. Would he have gone on to be bigger than Elvis Presley? It's a bit controversial, but possibly, because he did write a lot of his own songs, didn't he? Would he have made films like Elvis? Possibly. Would he have become a country star like Johnny Cash? Possibly. Would he have come to England and toured with the Beatles? Who knows? Possibly. I know he was a very, very big influence on both John and Paul, and he was a big influence on a lot of people in the UK music industry in the 60s, like the Hollies and people like that, even the Who, you know. Like I say, he was one of the first proper sort of rock stars that actually performed some of his own songs. Great, very, very talented man. very sadly missed. And like I say, it's one of those what if questions, isn't it? What could he gone on to? Would he wanted to carry on? You don't know, do you? That was, how much was that? £6 that one was. I don't think it's worth a hell of a lot more than that, to be honest, but it is a nice record. I played that yesterday. Very, very relaxing record to listen to be honest. Then I've got Deep Purple Burn. Now I have got a couple of Deep Purple LPs. One's, is it Deep Purple in Rock, and then I've got one, is it called Made in Japan, and I've got one that they did with a concert orchestra. They started off on Parlophone, didn't they? But by the time this came out in, when was this, 1974, they'd got their own record label, although it was still like distributed by EMI Records, which was just called Purple Records Limited. To be honest, I don't, apart from Burn, I don't really know any of the songs on here. So you got Burn, Might Just Take Your Life, Lay Down, Stay Down, and Sail Away. That's side one. So you've only got 4 songs, but that lasts 20 minutes and 39 seconds. Side 2 is You Fool No One, What's Going On Here, Mistreated, and A200, which goes on for 20 minutes and 58 seconds. Very sort of like influential band in the day, weren't they? Deep Purple. That is the labels. So I haven't played this, so I don't know what it sounds like. It looks in pretty decent condition though, to be honest. That was quite expensive. This was £15. But having a quick look on eBay and Discogs and things like that, these usually go for more than that. You can get them for less than this, obviously, but they usually go from £10 to about £35 for that. So £15 wasn't too bad, I don't think. Just have a quick swag again, if you don't mind, folks. What was that? Right, I think we've got 3 more to go. Bob Dylan, Nashville Skyline. Bob Dylan is a artist, and over the years I've tried on numerous occasions to get into Bob Dylan, and I just don't know what it is. I just can't get into him. I do like some of his songs, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I hate all of his songs. I've got, you know, I do quite like a few of his songs, but I just can't get into him as a entertainer or as a singer or songwriter. On this one, the notes on the back are actually written by Johnny Cash. Yeah, side 1 is Girl from the North Country. That's sung with Johnny Cash. Then you've got National Skyline Rag, To Be Alone With You, I Threw It All Away, and Peggy Day. I Threw It All Away. Side 2 is Lay Lady Lay. Now I know that song because a band in the UK called Duran Duran did a version of that. Actually quite a good version, thinking of it. One More Night, Tell Me That It Isn't True, Country Pie, Tonight I'll Be Staying, and Here With You. So that is the track listing. Now the strange thing about this is it's in a UK cover, but the record is actually an American pressing. Side 1, and then side 2. This was £3. So I did say to Rob, I says, why is it only £3? And he goes, because it's got a very, very slight warp. And it is a very, very slight warp. To be honest, when I was cleaning this yesterday on my record cleaning machine, I could hardly notice it. I haven't played this one, so I don't know what it sounds like, but I am quite looking forward to listening to this, and I will listen to it with an open mind and things like that. I do know his version of Lay Lady Lay as well, because I have got a greatest hits CD, and that's got that one on. And I think that is one of his better songs in my opinion. Yeah, so that one was okay, £3. Then we've got Mary Hopkin Postcard. Now I've got 2 copies of this already, but they're the mono ones, and this is actually a stereo one from 1969. Of course, Paul produced this for it, into Donovan's on it. The strange thing about this album as a whole is, when this came out in 1969, she'd had a couple of hits, you know what I mean, big hits like Those Were the Days and Goodbye, and they're not on this. The songs on here are more sort of like folky sort of songs. Don't get me wrong, it is a nice album to listen to, but it's not everybody's cup of tea sort of thing. I mean, I think she sings one in Welsh as well. That's the A side on the lovely UK Apple label, and then that is the B side. Now there's a few marks on here, I don't know if you can see it or not, like just there, but they're not feelable, and I cleaned this 3 times. Now when I played this yesterday, I did play the B side, and it plays all the way through, no skips, no jumps, no noise or anything. You know, it did play really, really nice. Like I say, not everybody's cup of tea. I actually don't mind a little bit of Mary Hopkins now and again, or Mary Hopkins, as she's classed as Mary Hopkins, isn't she? Yeah, some strange songs on this, like Inchworm and things like that, and the Puppy Song and the Honeymoon Song, and Lover's the Sweetest Thing, Lord of the Rings, There's No Business Like Show Business, The Game, yeah, so Voyage to the Moon. Yeah, bit of like a hippie trippy folky sort of album. And then we've got this one, Tighten Up Volume 2. A bit of a risque sort of like album cover, you know. Not going to beat about the bush, they probably won't get away with that today. And this is basically early ska and reggae songs. A couple of them on here I do know, like Long Shot, Kick the Bucket, John Jones I know. Return of the Django, I know that one. Live Injection. So it's people like the Pioneers, Rudy Miles, Clancy Ellis, Echo, Soul Sisters, Dandy, Reggae in Your Jaggy, Fatty Fatty, the Upsetters, Kinkstonians, Joya Landis, Coming to the Parlour, that's the Bleachers, Soulmates, and the Upsetters again. Some of these songs, a couple of the songs on here, were actually done like in the late 70s by bands like the Specials did a version of Long Shot, Kick the Bucket, and if I remember rightly, didn't the Clash do John Jones or somebody like the Clash? It's on Trojan Records. Now a lot of these obviously were released as singles, so if you wanted to go out and buy every one of them as a single, it would cost you a hell of a lot of money. So if you're not sure if you're going to like these songs, this is, you know, an ideal way to get it. I do know most of these, to be honest, and I've played it, and it is a nice album to listen to. In fact, we did the Cardinal Sin of record collecting on Thursday. We actually played this without cleaning it downstairs. I mean, I did wipe it over, don't get me wrong, but in my defence, I had a drink, so you know, it sounded alright, to be honest. It did sound okay. Again, top-notch copies of this can go for quite a lot of money. Now, I don't know why there's some sort of stick on there. I don't know if that's hiding somebody's name and address on there. I don't know. Quick look on eBay yesterday, or was it Friday morning, and these can go up to like 35, 45, 50 pounds sometimes for one in really excellent condition. This isn't in excellent condition. It's in nice condition, you know, good condition. It's not in excellent condition, but it plays, and it plays okay, which is the main thing. That's all you're bothered about, isn't it? If it plays, no skips, no jumps or anything. If you want to be critical, yes, there is a little bit of background music, background noise in certain places between the songs, which you would expect with a vintage record. So that's going to be it. I'm just going to briefly show you this. Didn't even know this album existed, or this box set existed. This is Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros, I think that's how I pronounce it. And it's basically a celebration of Joe Strummer's work with his new band. He recorded albums with them from 1999 up to his death in 2002. And this is actually called 002, believe it or not. Joe Strummer 002. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think this one will probably get a video on its own. Interesting thing about this for me, well, there's two things. One, it's Joe Strummer, and I know Joe Strummer from The Clash. Obviously, after The Clash split up, he did do a little bit of work with Mick Jones on a Big Audio Dharma LP. He did a little bit of work on the Sid and Nancy film, didn't he? He did do some work with the Pogues as well. And then he went like quiet for a few years, and then he came back with this band. So I'm looking forward to like listening to this. But the interesting thing is, this is actually on Dark Horse Records. Yeah, it's on the Dark Horse Record label. I'm not sure what label it would have come out on originally. And Danny Harrison, George's son, is creative director. You do get a book with it and things like that, and reproductions of lyrics and things like that. So I'm looking forward to listening to that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I haven't bored you too much. It just goes to show you what you can pick up. I did actually pay quite a lot of money to Rob, but then again, for what I've got, I'm quite happy. I think it came to over £100, but that Joe Strummer box set, it got up at 60 something pound. I think he let me have that for 50 in the end, and then he did knock me a lot off for the other records as well. So yeah, I think it was just over £100, £110 something. Excuse me. Yeah, just over £110. Just bear with 1 sec. And they are all playable copies, or the ones I've played so far are nice playable copies. Yes, they're not mint, don't get me wrong, they're not mint, but for what I've paid for those, I'm not bothered. They are to add to my collection and to try and get me into like appreciating some other sorts of music other than just the Beatles. You know, Bob Dylan, yeah, I'm going to give him another try. Deep Purple, I know Who, I know, things like that. So, you know, it's just something a little bit different. So what do you think, folks? Do you think I've got a bargain there or not? Drop me a comment. If you know any of them are worth anything, by the way, just let me know as well. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing, by the way. You're doing me really proud at the minute. And obviously, if you're not subscribed and you've liked the video that you've watched today, please feel free to subscribe. It is free anyway, so it doesn't cost you anything. So if you hit the notifications button, sorry, the subscription button and notifications button, which is like a bell, then you get notifications for when I'm doing new videos. And that's about it for today. It's absolutely chucking it down here. So yeah, so I hope you're all well and dandy. Thank you to everybody for subscribing, leave me comments and leave me likes. If you want to leave me comments on this, please do. And if you've enjoyed the video, just do me a favour and leave a thumbs up, because that helps with YouTube to promote the channel even further. And that's going to be it. Hopefully I might be doing the David Bowie one, the next instalment of the David Bowie collection, either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm back at work Wednesday. But if I don't do it, it'll be next weekend. I've just got to work out what we're doing. So that's it. As always, remember, you are the Beetle Dave. I love you all, and I hope you enjoyed my little video, and I hope you didn't mind me showing you, some of the records that we've got. None of these records have been featured on any video, because obviously I only bought these on Thursday. Yeah. So until the next time, peace, love and happiness to you all, and remember, Beetle Dave loves you.